Hi, I'm Jay Wong. I went to Coachella for the first time this past weekend. I also did it solo, so I believe that's the first Cella, solo Cella. Um, and I thought I would share some of the things that were in my day bag that would be helpful to somebody else who might be thinking of going or just needs inspiration for packing for all day type events like Coachella. I did not go when I was younger because I was not as seasoned of a traveler. I also was kind of intimidated by like the scale of the event. But now a few years later, I have some trips under my belt, know what I need to have in my, daily kit. And that really came in handy for this past weekend. And I had no bad surprises, only good ones. So I feel very, very blessed and thankful in that way. But a lot of it is also due to preparation. So creating my own luck, as it were. So the first thing I took out of my bag, obviously, is just sun protecting items, right? This was a hat I had, and these little fun things were little gifts I received at Coachella. It's kind of very much part of like festival culture, and I was really excited to have these new little mementos to bring back with me. So thank you to the folks who gave me these. Obviously, other basics for protecting yourself under the heat and the sun, sunblock, as well as water bottles and electrolyte packets. Those are super helpful, or drops, whatever form you prefer. The kind of like really key items, I'll just go through those. One should be obvious, but earplugs if you want to appreciate music for the rest of your life and not have tinnitus or any other damage to your ears. Earplugs are a must. Now, granted, like Coachella, the on-site stores, they called them general stores, had a lot of the basics that you could buy. I don't remember if they had earplugs, but if they did, I'm sure they, might have given them for free because I know a lot of concert venues do that. But knowing Coachella, they might have also charged a lot for these. So bring your own earplugs if possible is the moral of the story. Basic hygiene and sanitation things as well. Hand sanitizer. I had kind of this like thin spray type, which is really helpful. I brought a little packet of tissues. And then for my girlies who are on maybe their periods at the event, or even if you're not or you do not have that and you just want to feel fresh, wipes are really helpful, both little baby wipes or antibacterial ones to wipe down surfaces. And then let's see, obviously for tech things, a power bank, super useful for your phone. If you're traveling with a group and maybe you need more power, you'll probably be carrying a heavier one of these. But since I was just worried about my phone, this magnetic one for my iPhone worked really great, just off of Amazon. I test run it at other events, so I knew it wasn't gonna like expand and explode in my bag under the heat. And it worked really well. I think I ended up needing it about halfway through each of my days there. Um, like guys, listen, I clocked into Coachella like a job. I showed up at 1 or as close to 1, which is when gates opened. And because I was like, there's so much music here, I have to like try and get bang for my buck. And I saw so much. My feet were dead. And one of my toes feels a little numb still, but so worth it. And this was super helpful so that I could record things and have my GPS to get back home. So the other kind of things I'm really proud of for bringing and having prepared. So what are these? These are nylon ripstop pants. They're by a very well-known dancewear brand called Capigio. These are used by ballet dancers for warm-ups because they are heat trapping. And so I had obviously seen a lot of videos of people kind of talking about or making fun of the foil blankets that some people wear at Coachella. But those are legit too, because that's what they give typically like marathon runners afterwards, right? So that they can stay warm and not cool down too fast and cramp. But I wanted something that would have a little more coverage and that I didn't have to think about kind of like holding right as I'm walking around. And so these pants were great. I just popped them on over my outfits when the sun went down and it started feeling that desert chill. So super useful. Think about it. unisex, right? Male, female, doesn't matter, stay warm. The other thing was a funny game time decision. I grabbed this right as I was leaving my apartment to drive over to, Indio in Coachella. This is a plastic mailer bag that my pre-ordered Coachella t-shirt came in, because I was trying to solve for the issue of, what can I sit on? Obviously, Coachella is on a polo field, so it's mostly just grass and dirt. There are some areas with concrete, but it's not most of the grounds by far. And so, I didn't have like the hottest outfit or whatever to protect, but, I didn't want to like feel wet grass on my butt. And so this was really useful. A new friend I had made at Coachella, or a little before, and then we connected there. She was like, "Oh, so like you brought like the bubble mailer, like for padding?" I was like, "That's genius! I did not think of that." So I am jotting that down for maybe a future Coachella or some other similar event. But this super, inexpensive, slash free 99, and packed really easily in my bag. I actually thought, I'd like lose this halfway or throughout the event, but it made it back with me. And now I'm like, maybe I should doodle on this in Sharpie with like, some of my memories of going to Coachella. So, it's kind of like a DIY cheap keepsake. Um, I did not think about that before this video, and that was just an organic idea, and I feel quite proud of myself. Similar to this game time decision that was not planned. So, but super useful for sitting and being a little more comfortable. Those are kind of the basics I had. Other things will be up to your comfort or style preferences, right? I have this little hand fan that was really great for when it was extra hot in the afternoon. It was a gift from a friend from her trip to Japan, I believe last year, and it just makes me so happy looking at it. It's Stitch and Angel, and an homage to Japan and the Great Wave Hokusai painting or woodblock print. So yeah, I thought of her every time I opened this and was really, really grateful for this. So yeah, a clear stadium bag might, do wonders for you like it did for me. If you don't want to carry this many things, that's totally valid too. There were times where I was like, oh, this is kind of heavy, but for my peace of mind, it was totally worth it. And oh yeah, it gave me a little place to hang my buddy here, a Hello Kitty mermaid that my mom had gotten for me. So yeah. For anyone who's considering going alone, because you just want to finally experience it, I highly recommend it. Do your research, other people's videos, and their threads and comments and discussions on Reddit were really helpful for me. And so hopefully I've shared a few tips that I've passed on to someone else going. It's also a way to remind myself of like, this is what helped me have a good day at this festival. So I hope you have a great time going wherever you're going. And yeah, for those who are going to weekend too, I'm so jealous, and I will be watching the live stream. Until then, hope this was helpful. See ya.